Miyetti Allah has urged President Buhari to immediately order the arrest of former President Olusegun Obasanjo for alleging that Fulanis are behind the kidnappings and killings in Nigeria. And also, the organized labor has alerted Nigerians that it is planning a nationwide strike action if the implementation of the 30,000 naira new minimum wage is delayed any further. Well, this is Plus Politics, and I am Maryann. Now, in a reaction to the latest open letter written by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, a social-cultural organization, Miyetti Allah, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to arrest the former President Obasanjo, I beg your pardon, for accusing Fulani herdsmen of being the root cause of insecurity in Nigeria. Also, the National Secretary of Miyetti Allah stated that Fulanis should not be blamed for the rate of insecurity in the country. My question is, what do we do, and do they have the right to ask that former President Olusegun Obasanjo be arrested and investigated? But well, joining me in the studio to have the conversation, I have Mr. Dotun Alaribibe. He is a political analyst. It's good to have you join us, Mr. Dotun. And of course, sitting next to him, we have Tunji Abdul Hamid. He's a legal practitioner. It's good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I'll start with you, Dotun. We know about the open letter, and that open letter is as open as the secret that Nigeria has insecurity, spread across the different regions. Should we be, I asked this question earlier today, should we be shooting the messenger and not taking the message, or should we take the message and not shoot the messenger?
Yes, we should take the message, really. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see why anybody wants to celebrate Miyetti Allah or whatever they call them. I mean, they should be downplayed. I mean, what Obasanjo has said is not rocket science. It is what we're living with, you know. I don't think, I didn't read him as accusing Fulani Herdsmen, you know. It's talking about insecurity. It could come from anywhere. Well, we know we have fit columnists, and then the perception is there. But calling for Buhari to go and arrest Obasanjo is arrant nonsense as far as I'm concerned.
Again, one would wonder if they even have a right to be making these statements, being that in the past we've had them make statements that could also have warranted someone asking for their arrest. So do they even have the onus or the right to do that?
I think when talk about rights, everybody has the right to do what is not illegal. They have the right to make statements. The question should be, do they have the right, is the government, does the government have the moral grant or any justification to arrest the former president?
Yeah, looking at the content of the letter, so is there anything inciting?
That's what I'm saying. As far as I'm concerned, there are facts, there are things that everybody can see, there are issues that are germane to the country. And even if you look at the statement, credit to the media, he said they are being accused wrongly or rightly. He didn't specifically say they had it. He said they are being accused wrongly or rightly that they are the one causing the trouble. So I think calling for his arrest, the question is, can the government arrest him for that statement? To me, the answer is no. The best the Miyetti can do if they feel offended is to go to court for defamation of character, which I think it's not for the government to arrest him for making a statement without facts and without can be justified.
Let's look at the content of the letter that former President Obasanjo put out. He talked about the fact that these issues are weighty. He talked about the fact that these are similar things that led to the issue in Rwanda. He made mention of so many other places. Why do you think that the government and security agencies have continuously played the ostrich on the issue of insecurity in Nigeria?
Yeah, you see, it's a bit confusing there, you see, because like now you're going to see Buratai come out and tell us he's winning the war, and, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? You're going to see government 1 minute, the vice president is saying killings, the kidnapping is exaggerated. Next minute is saying this killing is one too many. Or where do you stand? That's what we want to know. We want to know where you stand. You see, because like I said earlier, perception is everything, and people believe because Buhari is Fulani, you know, the government is using kid gloves to, you know, treat Fulani herdsmen. But to me, when you're talking of Fulani herdsmen, I believe it is a flashpoint to create problem in Nigeria. Obviously, not everything is Fulani herdsmen. The Fulani herdsman has a stick to go with his cows. AK-47 costs about 400,000 naira, you know. So I don't see a Fulani...
It costs double the price of one cow.
I don't see a Fulani herdsman carrying AK-47 after a cow, no. These people, let's call it spade a spade. Buhari told you the last time he was in England that these guys are coming in after the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. You see, you have mercenaries all over Africa. France had to come with special forces into, where they come that time? Was it Mali or whatever to come and, you know, destabilize these guys? They are moving. They have guns for hire. See, you have people that don't want Buhari to succeed. Buhari has told they are powerful, they have money, they can organize anything and keep on going.
So, just as the Sultan of Sokoto had said at the time that these people were not Nigerians, I'm wondering, let's not go, because we're quick to compare Nigeria with America or the UK, let's not go too far. Let's say like Ghana or South Africa. Do you think that a country like South Africa would sit back, rest on its oars and be making statements while outsiders are killing their citizens in their dozens on a daily basis? Do you think their reaction will be what how Nigeria is reacting to the situation?
No. South Africa is more...
So why are we making the excuse that these are outsiders? Oh, they're powerful. The number one duty of a government is to protect and to serve the people, just like the police. They're supposed to protect and save and serve us. Lives and properties of every citizen, every life is supposed to be very important and valuable. So why do we have this situation?
And to me, I see it as evidence of lack of capacity.
In what ways?
To carry out that duty as government. Under our law, the basic primary responsibility of every government is security and welfare of the society, of the people. That is Section 14 of the Constitution. The major duty, others are secondary, is security and welfare. So if a government says is unable to do something because people who are committing the crime are from the outside, the government is telling us that it has no capacity to protect us. The security we are talking about here is not only internal aggressions, the security extends to external forces and aggressions. So if the government is telling me those who are perpetrating the evil, whatever, the crisis, are not Nigerians, they are from what are they telling us? What are they doing to prevent them from continuing the act? What is the government doing to ensure that these people who are perpetrating are brought to book? Whether Nigerians, whether outside Nigeria, whether they are this and that. But I want to also say that, look, I want to draw, I am worried that, just like he said, whenever we have any attack or any issue, we attract it, we put it to a particular tribe or religion or whatever. I think we are not doing ourselves any good. Because let's call a spade a spade. A criminal is a criminal. Once you commit an offense, you should be tagged criminal. Not Fulani, not Ausha, not Yoruba, or wherever you are. Not based on where you belong to. Not based on where you come from. Not based on the religion you practice, or whatever you. So whoever you are. In
other words, you're saying it's insecurity. Let's treat it as insecurity and not give it a name tag. Whether it's from anybody.
As long as we try to put it a blame on a particular tribe or a particular religion or whatever, we will not be able to sort it. You know, in Nigeria, the issue of religion and electricity is they are very major issue.
And very sensitive. All right. Earlier today, I had the former presidential candidate of the AAC in the studio, and he did go as far as buttressing your point. Let's take a look at that clip.
How do you deal with that? By retaining and romancing, or even, in a shallow way discussing with the people who are the cause of the problem. What revolutions do is they address the root of the matter. They displace people who are complicit and complacent about it. Security is a major issue. It's the #1 right of every citizen. Leaders are held to account first and foremost based on the security of their citizens. You know, it could be social security, physical security, economic security, all kinds of security. If you don't have that, the nation fails. So if you consistently dodge and run away from what needs to be done because those leaders are not responsive and responsible, and you think, you know, by talking to them or talking on TV, they will change. I'm sorry, nothing will change, you know. But when they see seriousness, or in some cases, what revolution do is to change leaders who are irresponsive and irresponsible completely, sweep them out of power, and bring in new levels of power, new dynamism that solves the problem. And Nigeria's problem is deeper than just crime. You know, what is fueling crime is unemployment. What is causing unemployment sometimes is corruption. What is causing corruption in times is incompetence and negligence on the part of these leaders. And these leaders are not going to just change overnight simply because somebody wrote a letter to them. But if the citizens rose and said, enough is enough, then people sit up.
So that's Mr. Sowore speaking to the issue of insecurity, and he's saying he wants a revolution. And I asked the question, is that what we really need? And are we ready for that? I mean, let's take, for example, and some excerpts that we didn't play. Today it is either a rape case, and then by the time we wake up tomorrow, there's another issue overlapping these issues. And then, you know, we blow hot and cold. We're never really, you know, I don't know, deeply rooted in one issue. We tend to forget quickly. So are we really ready to take our leaders on to make sure that they are actually doing what they promised while they were campaigning? Every promise that they made, can we hold them accountable? Because you cannot have a robust economy or a progressive administration if you have insecurity as the biggest issue that you're handling in any government.
To me, we are not ready. That is the populace now.
And why do you think we're not ready?
You see, because like I was a contestant in the last election.
You were?
Yes, I did come out for Lagos Senatorial District. You see, then in the course of, you know, engaging people, I saw the level of ignorance, you know, that we're exhibiting. You see, so, and these guys, the leadership, they know how to play on that. So that's why they're going to continue to keep us there. And we deserve the government we get at any point in time. You see, the basic thing for now, we need to overhaul the security architecture of Nigeria. Jerry Allen said it some time ago. When he came to Nigeria, he was in Abuja, they took light. No Nigerian soldier had a torchlight. No, in the conference room, he was one that flipped out the torchlight in his military camouflage. Then he got back home, he told us, look, if you want to be a general, go to Nigeria. Generals are in 5 and maybe 6 and half a dozen, whatever, you know. It comes cheap. You see a Nigerian soldier, just maybe 8-10 years in the army, is a general. They don't know jack shit, you know. After the Civil War, nothing is happening. We need to overhaul the entire security architecture of Nigeria. That's where we got to start from.
Talking about security architecture, we still have the same service chiefs. I mean, it took a lot of outcry, hues and cries for the police chief to be replaced, although, you know, he dragged on until, you know, it was his time to step down. So we still have the same guys, and the former president did mention this in his letter about, you know, the chief of army staff saying that, you know, the reason why the war in Boko Haram is not necessarily won is because of sabotage. Should we be even talking about that in the first instance? Should that even be public knowledge? Is that not some form of an embarrassment, in fact, as he said? It's
an indictment on the force and even the chief of staff for making that statement. You see, the issue is this: in Nigeria, we don't punish crime, and where we don't punish crime, people will continue to do more. You see people who are in power, who are in government, who are given responsibilities, not doing their jobs, and people will be finding excuses for them. We like you said, I want to agree with him. We are not ready for any change, and we deserve the kind of we are having the kind of government we deserve. This is the kind of government. You're in a situation whereby you want to contest and they believe you are the best. They will tell you, you are the best, but you don't have money. They see that 1,000 naira they will be given to them on the election day as as a right. That if you don't give it to them, they won't. Let me tell you, like I said, I was also a participant in the last election. I didn't contest for any post, but I was fully into it. I was a DG campaign of an organization for a popular candidate in the election. Do you know that some of the people I paid their school fees refused to vote for the candidate I introduced to them on the ground that I did not give them 1,000 naira on the day of that I'm not ready to give them money for. I said, look. But you see, when we talk about this kind of mentality, that is the kind of mentality we have. But
yes, somebody. These things didn't just happen overnight. Somebody laid the foundation for this to start becoming a thing. Hence the reason why it now feels like a right for us to, for you, whether you like it or not, you have to buy our vote.
People see it as right.
People have resigned to that fate because of something we're seeing in the daily way that people govern us, isn't it?
Yes, you're very right. You see, like, the psyche of the average Nigerian has been bastardized, See, coming to this Fourth Republic, when the soldiers conducted the election of 1999, that's the best election we have had in this dispensation.
That's what we keep saying.
It's the best. The first election that brought Obasanjo into power is the best election we have had. We have been, progressively deteriorating. You see, so when you are talking of Obasanjo's letter now, Obasanjo himself is a problem. So that's why I say we just take the message, and just ignore the messenger. Because most of these things we're going through now, Obasanjo laid the foundation. Look at the 2007 election. We were still collecting results.
You and I.
It was announcing results in Abuja with Zimoriziwu, a fraud. I thank God the president then, late Yar'Adua, very cerebral human being. He came out and he owned up that he knew the election was bad. What did we do? We went to 2011. Read the National Republican report on this last election that we had. Just read it. EU, everything. Read all the results. So we're perambulating. We're in motion without movement. You see, but like the other guy was saying earlier, revolution can come in different forms. Not necessarily that.
He called it an organic revolution.
Yeah.
I'm
exactly.
here to research how organic
Organic is the best revolution we're going to have now, because we don't need a bloodshed or anything. We don't need to come out and start.
We need to revolution in form of changing our structure.
But then both of you have made it sound like even the organic revolution might never happen because we're not there mentally, neither are we there physically.
Yes, but it's going to happen, you see, because it might take a
and when?
It might take a while.
I don't think so.
You see, exposure. When people start, okay, look at when they did when this guy Enes Kanu did the 1 million man march for Abacha that time. When they went to go and recruit guys from the South, they brought them to Abuja. That was when they saw, so you mean the oil you are taking from the South Side is what you're using to develop this Abuja, and then we are living in squalor. It gave them ideas. That's where that agitation started. When they went back to their base and said, look at you. They are coming here, they're taking this oil, they are developing their own, then we don't even have ordinary water to drink. They started that agitation. See, now people are beginning to see things, Let's thank God for social media. People are beginning to be aware of things. It might take a while. If you look at North Africa, look at Tunisia. We used to say, one president in 40 years, one president in 40 years. The day it started, it took one guy to burn himself. Arab Spring just started like that, It's 24 hours is a long time.
But you see, again, I'm sorry to drag this issue. We were quick to point fingers at the Arab Spring and point fingers to Beijing and what's happening, Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. But the average Nigerian doesn't even think like the average African. That is the problem. We just want to eat and sleep. We just have a roof over our head. We're used to the management system. And I might be wrong for the generality of Nigerians. There are a few people who are, very serious and tired of, or sick and tired of the situation that we're in. But you were disagreeing with him that, it might not take too long, that it's going to happen soon. Why do you think so?
Why I disagree was that I've been hearing this, it will be better since I was in primary school.
Okay.
And as I'm sitting here, I'm over 40. And to date, it's getting worse. Do you get the point? So I've been listening to, as time goes on, by the time a new government comes, you will now be comparing with the old one, with saying that one is doing better. Do you get the point?
Just like you said,
we're not showing any sign of...
we're progressing backwards.
We are not showing any sign of we are ready to change the system. We are also trying to... What everybody, average Nigeria is looking at is, how do I get there and be part of them? You see, we blame the National Assembly, 8th National Assembly, and the 7th National Assembly, we blame the members, as if the same members are the ones that come past to we have the 9th National Assembly now. Only few of the 8 were returned. And we are still talking about this National Assembly. This National Assembly are bad. They are bad people. As if they are the same set of people, as if the one maintaining the place. You know, because when some of them are outside, they criticize the system. When they get there, they've collected their allowances or whatever, millions of naira now. None of them is saying.
But I also hear the average Nigerian or the average viewer of this show saying, we didn't put them there. We never voted for them. Our votes didn't count.
On that one, I would tell them to stop deceiving themselves. You see, look at Lagos, for instance. We had 6.5 million registered voters. 1 million people came out to vote in the, what's it called,
Presidential
and National Assembly elections. Ditto for maybe about 1.2. For the governorship, about 1.06 came out, 1.006. You see, every voter that registered and did not come out for accreditation voted for the government in power. Inadvertently. You see, because if you did not come out to vote, that means you are okay and comfortable with what is on ground. So you voted for the government. You voted for, like in Lagos now, you voted for someone.
Not making a choice somewhat is a choice.
Yes, it is a choice. It is, in fact, it is the greatest choice, not making a choice. Because you're just agreeing with what is happening now. So now, I want to see somebody that will come and tell me there's a pothole somewhere on the streets of Lagos. When you didn't come out to exercise your civic responsibility, you should shut up. You can't talk. That's the problem. But the revolution will come. You see, like I said earlier, when I went to the Arab Springs, it took them a very long time. We are docile people. They're in Nigerian context. You know, there's no Nigeria in that context.
In the Arab sector, they don't talk about you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, you are Igbo.
That's what I'm going.
If you start any issue now, look at this issue of Fulani just letter. If you see those that support the letter are those who are not in APC or in government. All those that will say the letter is not necessary or whatever, they will be part of those who support the APC, PDP, APC, PMB, or any of the party in power. That is the way we roll.
But don't you think that is also our greatest undoing?
We make comment based on where we belong.
That's what I was saying.
Isn't that our greatest undoing? The fact that we're divided along political, religious, and ethnic lines.
Thank you very much. As far back as 3 months after our civil war, they told us that we are still a tribalistic society. We are going on ethnic divide. I'm talking of 1970 now. You see the same pattern now. Let's go to Abiola's election. After Abiola's election, what happened? Spontaneous uprising came out for 3-4 days. After that, you saw the man in the East in Yoruba affair. Also, man said Yoruba affair. They turned to Yoruba affair. You see, the leadership of Nigeria, they know what they are doing. You know, they know what they're doing. They know that they can use divide and rule for you at any point in time. But these guys are together. We're just fooling ourselves. You know, we sit down in the evening, you will see all of them together. This one is APC, this one is PDP. They still come together in the night and exchange notes. Then you say you are Yoruba, you are this. That's why the security is not functioning. Look at this guy, Sakari Biu. What's his name? The one that freed Kabiru Sokoto. Sokoto was arrested after the bombing of the church in Abuja. They arrested this guy in a state government liaison house in Abuja, a northern state government liaison house. That's where this guy, a wanted man, was living there. And they arrested him. Then after about how many weeks, you now told us you want to go and search his house for what?
So bottom line, we're not ready That's what you're saying.
We're definitely not
ready. And
ready.
this spells doom for us, whether we like it or not. Well, I want to say thank you to you, gentlemen.
We will only be ready when we do away with ethnicity and the other sentiments.
Thank you very much, Dotun Alaribibe, political analyst, and Tunji Abdulhamid, legal practitioner. They're not going anywhere. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll be talking about the implementation or the late implementation of the new minimum wage and what the trade union has to say about it. Stay with us.